Man, that is a pretty car. Yeah, she's dirty and she ain't got no paint, but look at her shine when she's wet. We're gonna take this little girl to work today. I don't take her very often. Once a week or sometimes every other week. But it's been a while, and it's been a while, so I wanted to get her out, stretch her legs a little bit. Winter's coming on, and she won't be much fun to drive. She ain't much fun to drive when it's 112 outside because you don't have any AC, but she's less fun to drive when it's icy and frozen outside and she ain't got no heater. So it's spring and fall is when it's the best because she's nice and cool. Weather's cool, and our weather's right now is in the end of September. We're nice and chilly in the mornings. I mean, not real chilly, but just like you can stand to wear a second shirt. But then we're still getting up in the 90s, 80s and 90s in the evenings or in the afternoons. So, you know, though you got that kind of, that's California September, you know, that's what we're dealing with. Boy, here we go. Now I can see the roads. Oh, yeah, she looks good. She's fun to drive around. She sounds good. New cars, sorry, and I mean, I sound like an old fart, but hey, I'm an old fart. New cars don't have any personality. And it's funny I'm seeing these guys on YouTube who I really appreciate what they're doing. And their main focus is trying to revive and save these old muscle cars out of the 60s and 70s. And they're trying to build these cars as they were in the 60s and 70s. But they got to be going off of photographs, pictures, or other people's stories because they're too young because they weren't around. I mean, I really do appreciate what they're doing, but some of them weren't born until the 90s. And they're building cars and going, this is what they were like back in the 70s. You know, I gotta have this, or I gotta have that accessory or that thing to put on it because that's what they did back in the 70s. And at the same time, a little disappointed because at the same time, in the same breath, I see them canceling and making fun of, disrespecting the generation older than them who happen to disagree with maybe the way they go about it or what they think a car actually ought to be or their preference in carburetor. And it's crazy to me because see the difference in that. Big difference in that is we actually lived through the 70s, and that's when we were driving our cars. So we actually do know what that was like to drive cars to high school in the 70s and 80s. That's when we did it. And you know, we were taught to respect the older generation, and we did. We may not have agreed with what they said, and we may have laughed and said, okay, you're just old, you don't understand what it's like. But you know what? we didn't generally do it to their face. We didn't generally do it to their face. We certainly didn't do it in public. And that kind of disappoints me in some of these younger guys on YouTube. I don't mind you having your opinions. Do what you want to do. I'm disappointed to see the lack of respect for people who've gone before. Multiple people, it has been shown where they have they've got great things going on their channel, and they back themselves, or they get themselves into a corner and they don't know what to do, or they need extra help, or they whatever it is, but they need expertise, and they call in their dad, and he's an old guy like me. He's my age, and it's obvious that they have great affection and respect for their dad, and it's obvious that their dad, if he didn't teach them a lot, at least he was there along the way, and they've learned a lot and worked on a lot of things together. And I kind of wonder, how do you balance that out where you have so much respect and admiration for your father and his expertise and what he knows, and you so casually dismiss every other old guy his age that disagrees with you because you don't think they know anything. Kind of disappointing. Anyways, that's not where I wanted to go. I'm taking the cat to work, and I'm having a good little ride. She runs really good. Let's go look out the window. Oh yeah, sun's coming up. Sun's coming up. Oh, I wish I could just go off in a parking lot and do some donuts. But probably not going to happen. Yee-hee. Got a little light on over here. That's a future project. We're gonna have to get onto that project. So I got the brake cylinders, rear brake cylinders for that, because they're showing a little leakage, and I think that's what tripped that light. So I'm gonna change the rear brake wheel cylinders and see if I can't fix that whole situation. Damn it. Stop it.